Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the A Queens Roundtable Leadership Symposium. This particular one, we are doing the Business Accelerator Boot Camp. So, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not checked out some of the other panels and awesome interviews, then make sure you do so. So, I am your host, Jacqueline Kabah Harrison, and we do this event quarterly. So I am super, super excited. I have a wonderful lineup. And the purpose of this particular session this evening is titled The Secrets to Creating a Successful Event, right? So let's just say, for example, if you have maybe done one or two events, or maybe you do them regularly, but you're just not quite getting the traction or the results that you hope to get, you're in the right place. You are definitely going to learn something. You're going to take some tips and tools away to be able to tweak it, right? To get better results. And for those of you that may be in business, but are a little, cautious about doing your own event, don't really know where to start, this is also an excellent place for you to be because, again, you will leave with some tips and tools to be able to execute your first, let's just say, your first live event successfully. So I am going to, as you see, I have Kearn Cherry here, which is the Butts in the Seats Queen. And I'm going to turn it over to her and let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about who is Kearn Cherry and why are you the Butts in the Seat Queen?
Okay. Well, as you said, I'm Kearn Cherry. They call me the Butts in the Seat Queen because what I do, I've been creating events for over 20 plus years now. And one thing that I work very hard at is making sure that we have a great attendance at any event that I am either working behind the scene or I create. I'm also the creator and producer of Level Up Summit, which will be coming to you in March. Also, Power Up Summit, which will be in July. Success Women's Conference. I'm the co-founder and director of that conference, which will be in September. It's in its 8th year this year as well. And where we had over 17,000 virtually. In person, we normally average about 1,500. So that's typically where that conversation of why I'm the Butts in the Seat Queen. I'm also, I coach on creating your own profitable and successful event. And I'm also a visibility coach because I love helping people come to the stage. I often speak on stop being the best kept secret. Visibility equals profitability, and it's important that you make sure that you are visible, especially in 2022.
That's right. I like how you said, especially in 2021. I mean, 2022. Oh my God,
Yes.
I've been doing so good, but I have to be conscious of it when I say it.
You're right.
So, and this is also another reason why I think this is extremely important to talk about this is because with the pandemic, we know all of us have done in our business, right? Have done a lot of shifting.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is going to come up, when you talk a little bit further about it, Kearn, but the shift, and everyone's doing so much virtually. I mean, I got hired from a job in 20, was it last year or the year before? I think in 2020.
Yeah.
And I never even went into the office. Never even went into the office. They shipped me. I interviewed online. They shipped me the equipment. So, this is a virtual world and, I don't think it's going anywhere. Do you think it's going anywhere?
No, it's not. So, I often in some of my trainings and group meetings and stuff, I talk about the fact that the pandemics, if you look at history, have lasted a minimal of 3 years, the worldwide pandemics that make a major impact on the world. In addition to that, that you also are looking at the fact that y'all, many people I have met, like Jacqueline and all those, we were friends online, but were we really interacting? And so now, since this pandemic, we're getting to know each other. I mean, yeah, we may not have met in person, but I feel like we know each other in person, right? And so these conferences and summits that we host allow us to connect on an international basis where we have international people who didn't have to fly over the waters to be at our conference in person. So why would we give that up? So many conferences will go to be in hybrid. Once we get past 2022, you'll start to see even more hybrids because I enjoy my international speakers from Africa, Australia, New Zealand, all these countries that you get to communicate and share with. Your message is not meant for your backyard, y'all. I often say, stop swimming in that local pond and dive in the global ocean because that's where you're meant to be. That's where your message is meant to be shared to. So I love it, Jacqueline. I love it.
Yep. It's amazing because I'm a therapist, and going back into the field or being in the field and doing virtual, and people love it. I mean, there are some people that are maybe over 55, let's just say, that may not be too excited about it, but for the most part, people love it. So I definitely don't think it's going anywhere.
Well, I'm
So
57 this year, so I love it and I don't care. Sorry,
really?
I love it.
Wow.
And
Okay, I
yeah,
didn't know
a
that,
few
Cheryl.
of us in our group, we are. It's a matter of adapting. I've been doing. Most people don't know I have my home care business. We've been doing that for 25 years. Pivoting is a part of being a business owner. It is a part of you just being able to make a shift. You don't want to go out of business because you take a dip. There are peaks and valleys all throughout your business. Look, it's actually biblical. So you should expect that, and you need to be able to make a shift in order to make different money, create different streams of revenue. I think it's a perfect time for everyone to have a digital way of making money. You should have even if you got a full-time career, you should have a digital way of making money, hopefully 2 or 3 ways. I believe in 7 streams. So
Wait a minute, seven, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
7 streams, not so keep in mind, it will take more than one business to create 7 streams of revenue. But you don't have to have 7 different business to have different ways to receive money. And so that's important. That's like, typical and basic business. People will tell you create multiple streams of revenue, but 7 is a really good number as far as base in business. One of my other friends, they have a thing now that they're doing 10 streams of income. So, more the merrier, right?
And yes, and I also think too, with this pandemic, a lot of people, and just the way we've been moving in this country, let's just say the past 10 years, probably even longer than that, but that a job could be here one day and gone the next. So I think that's also another reason that it's important to talk about this. So let's shift into that. So why a virtual event? I mean, I know you mentioned about visibility, but kind of
Yeah.
tell us a couple more points. If someone might
Okay.
be saying, well, why should I do that?
So my first answer is why not, right? Uh, my
Okay.
my number one way to become visible to where it feels like it's almost overnight is creating your own event, profitable preferably, but your number one way. Why? Because it's going to open different doors. When you create an event, number one, guess what? You get to speak as often as you want to, right? You get to be on that stage, share your message as often as possible. You can become known as an expert as you're in your field, and you want to make sure that you do that. So that let's face it, you don't want your referrals going to your competition. So you definitely want to stand out at your own event. You also get a chance to create different types of collaborations. Think about it. You have your speakers that you're collaborating with, your sponsors, your team, your graphic designer, web designer, all those people. And then in addition to that, you have your audience that you have a chance to collaborate with. You're going to get a chance to create opportunities to speak on other people's stages because of those relationships formed from your conference. Why wouldn't you say, hey, do you have a conference coming up? Share that with me. And then y'all can decide from there what that looks like. In addition to that, you also you're putting publicity out. If you're doing branding really, really well, I think success when we first started, a lot of times we did not put our face with all the graphics. Everybody else was getting the visuals, but we weren't getting all the branding. So, it came up during the virtual world. I was like, look, we need to brand, so that people know we are the women that are creating this conference in little old Biloxi, Mississippi. So, yes, so you got to use those opportunities. So, events to me is a must. It's how you do it. And if you don't know how to do it, you need to look at hiring a coach. People like me, that's what I do. I'm always like a coach. What a coach does, they help you to avoid some of the pitfalls that they had, right? Who wants to have an event and the red is just taking over the screen over your life, right? Because you're so in debt from the event you just put together. And trust me, I am speaking from experience. Been there, done that. Wouldn't want that for anybody. So you want to make sure that it's profitable. And number two, that you put those butts in the seat. But anyway, like I said, it is definitely your opportunity to become very visible almost overnight.
Okay. So that visibility. Okay.
Yeah, that visibility,
All right.
becoming the expert, making sure that you collaborate, form new collaborations, getting on other people's stages from that. There are just you can just make a list of everything you can get from an event, and it would just go on and on and on. Think about the keynotes that you book and pay. If you booking and paying them, you should have a good relationship after that if you build it right. We had a speaker, and I always say I hate when I think back about it because we were so busy at Success in 2019. We had Tabitha Brown as one of our keynotes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I love her.
Live in person, y'all, in Biloxi, Mississippi. But I didn't get to spend time with her. Even with Dr. Yana Van Zant, we didn't get to spend the time we wanted with her as well. But you need to make those impact, because I told my partner, I said, I am done with paying for people, and we don't even get to spend time with them. So when Lisa Nichols was here in 2018, oh yeah, I ensured that we spent time. When Cheryl was here, same thing. That's why she's been back every year since 2017. You have to build relationship, and it is your responsibility to do that. Nobody else's, because you're trying to secure your future from your investments, and make sure that you also, and I can say I can say from my own experience, I've been bad at it myself. You must follow up after the conference so that you can get those clients, so that people don't forget, yes, I had a conference, but I also am a coach in this, and I have this, and I would love to have you come be a part of this. So you got to do your follow up as well. That's how you make sure that conference, that event, whatever the event is, anytime, you make sure that you follow up and you secure the clients that you should. And you never know. They may not join today. They may not join right then, but they may come back later.
And I have to say, I've experienced that because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when people, sign up, either they purchase a ticket, to the virtual event, and their name may be new to me, but like if I talk with them or interact with them, come to find out, they've been following the Eight Queens Roundtable for a year, 2 years, and I had no idea. Or even sometimes with the speakers, like when they come to sign up, they might say, girl, yeah, I had all last year, I really want to do it, but I don't know, I just was too busy or whatever, just didn't get around to it. But I said this year I was gonna do it, So again, so I can vouch for that in terms of, people are always looking, in terms of the visibility, and they may not say anything, but if
Well,
you see, they,
well, I use Cheryl as an example on that. Cheryl Woods came to the coast probably in 2014 or 15, I think 14, and I had already been following her online. And so the young lady that had her come, she was having a conference. I didn't know what size she really was going to have, but it turned out to only be like 20 or so people. But Cheryl had committed and she came. When I heard that she was coming, I was like, well, who's coming to the conference? And she said, Cheryl. I said, I want the best ticket you got. So make sure that I get it. I want front row. And so when she came, she delivered like she was in a room 1,000 people. And from that, I was like, I told her, I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I can tell you now, I'm gonna have you at one of my events. And it took me a couple of years. I had to work on my partner, but I eventually got her, and it was a paid speaking job. And so that being said, you just never know where your opportunities are. Never look down on opportunity. Sometimes it may seem small, but I like the way Cheryl treated it like, okay, yeah, I'm going to make the best of this time while I'm here. And she did. And I was like, I'm in. I'm in. The young lady that had the event, I was like, okay, appreciate it. The event was okay, but the main thing is she was able to secure and have Cheryl come and speak.
right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's just say for some of the ladies that want to do an event, just kind of give them a few tips about where to start. What's the first thing they need to look into or decide?
So I often talk about 5 different things.
Okay.
And I do group training on this as well, and individual training. But with the group training, I break it down to 5 stages. Make a plan. And so I'll go, the 5 stages are make a plan, uh, building the right team, securing your keynotes, headliners, and features and guest speakers. Then also talking about what is the other one? Oh, sponsorships. And sponsorships now are in many forms. So you need to think about that because we're in a different world. Virtual's a little different from outside. So I talk about different ways with my individual people. I really kind of just like to break down and write down a bunch of things that they can do so we can pick what they're going to do. And then promoting your event is also important. Promoting and marketing your event. There are a lot of things that people just do not do. They think they can get away with it and they're going to get those numbers. So the first thing that I always like to focus on is making your plan, because if that's not done right, everything else is going to be shaky anyway. So when you're making your plan, you want to make sure the first thing you do is write down your mission, your purpose, your why. You need to know, why are you doing this conference? Why are you doing the event? If your reason is only to make money, then you may have a problem with feeling fulfilled and wanting to complete the project, right? But you definitely won't have down making money. I mean, let's just face it, it'd be a lie if you didn't say you didn't want to make money. And then the next would be after purpose and mission. So your purpose and mission helps you with your title. Once you know the reason why and who your target audience is, and that's really important. A lot of people just like, I'm just everybody. No, you want to have a target as well that you kind of focus on, and you can broaden it. Success has broadened ours many over the years, but we knew that we wanted it to be women, and we knew that we wanted to help women be successful. And so it was general enough to secure quite a bit of women to attend from all age groups, but our target was 30 to 65 plus, right? Because we do get people in their 70s. Look, I'm not a spring chicken, right? So, and I don't plan to give up anytime soon. So we look at that as that's probably our biggest group of people, and then there are people out on the edges, right? And so that's where the name Success Women's Conference come from. We wanted to make sure that people were that they were able to connect, that they were able to I don't know why. I guess I got all these events now. I can't keep them all straight in my head. But we wanted to make sure that they were able to grow, connect, empowered, and all those type things. But anyway, feel free to go to Success International now and .com, and you can really check out our website there. But it was the whole purpose, and it drove from women in our area were like, we need something. We're looking for information, and they were tired of just regular women event. So we built that conference, and at the first one we had 540 people, plus people. So the other is from that, you also want to look at these just general things that you need to make sure you're looking at. So your target audience, where do you want to have it? So your locations, this is where you get in logistic, not just your building, but start with whether you're going to do local in your backyard, something that's you can manage a lot easier, or you're going to have it in another town, another state, another country. I highly suggest that you start with something local or virtual. Virtual, it still takes work, but you can manage those better. When you start getting out of town, even for me going, Power Up was initially supposed to be in New Orleans. It takes you got to manage that, so you can actually hire a logistic person too. But these are really important things that you need to sign off. The other thing is create a budget right in the beginning. Project the budget and look at it realistically. And on that flip side of the budget, how do you plan to raise that money to pay for it? Do not plan to pay out of your pocket. You don't, because that puts you in the red. So you want to plan to raise the money in order to put on your event. So budgets are very important. The team, don't please, y'all, your family ain't your team. Your family is your support. Your team needs to be people that have certain expertise that can help you be successful. Like bringing on a graphic designer, a web designer, somebody to help you with admin side of things. All those team members, somebody that may be willing to help you ask for money, because you need those people that don't mind hearing no, no, no till they get to a yes. They are out there. You just have to ask. And then there are the other people who will tell you no. And that's the finance people, right? You got to have them on your team because let's face it, as a creative, we tend to dream way out of the boundary lines, right? We're just all over the place sometimes. You need somebody to say, yeah, that's nice, would be great, but a little crazy for your first event. So those are just some of the tips as far as always go through and break down all of the things that you need to do to make sure that your plan is set up right. You want to have a theme. You don't have to, but having a theme kind of gives you something grounded. Picking your colors. All this drives from that. and picking that right name. A name is important. It may be simple. I think Level Up Summit is simple. Power Up Summit is simple. Even Success Women's Conference doesn't have to be, some people are a little too creative. I'm going to say that as well. It doesn't have to be too creative, but you need to give some thought to it. So when I see your name, I'm like, oh, is that? Oh, that's so and so. I know what that conference is. So you want to do that. You want to make sure that your name speaks to people. I always say it may call you out in your sleep, right? Make you want to go to that computer and sign up and register. So make sure you're doing that. Just a couple other tips, because like I said, I do this for training, and it does take quite a while to get through a lot of things. Picking your keynotes, y'all. Let me just say this, because I've literally talked to people, and just listening to them conversate, I'm like, you should not have recruited that keynote. It could be the best keynote, one of your dream list people. I can honestly say I've been victim of this myself. But if you can't afford them, you shouldn't be booking them, right? So your first event, you got to be realistic on your budget. That's why I said it's important to write and plan a budget. You can't afford. Well, I can't say you can't afford, because I don't know what you can afford. But Lisa Nichols may not be on that list, right? She may be somebody a few years down the road. That's what we did with Success. And trust me, when she gave us her price, my mouth was like this. I was like, the price that I had in my head, 7,000, 10,000, that was her flight. That was her flight. She was actually in Spain, and that was the flight cost. And I was like, oh my God. So just be mindful that sometimes that person may come later. You want to pick somebody, but you do want to pick somebody that delivers, that will bring people in. And the other thing to think about too, Jacqueline, when I tell people, when you're picking, so say you get your keynote, and then you got your feature speakers, get some people that you can see from what they do is that they don't mind promoting your event. They don't mind sharing out your event. So many of us pick people, and nobody on our platform will share out anything.
So, you know what, Karen, please stay on that for a little bit. Because I have to admit, I'm sitting over here and I'm thinking, like, when she said, make sure you pick a good keynote and good feature speakers, like, really, really kind of iron that out. I know so far you mentioned about people that deliver. So, like, what does that mean? Like, if you're starting off, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. There's other women out there that are saying, I want to do this, and I would love to bring Tabitha and Lisa Nichols, but I can't afford them. I tried to do. I don't know if y'all are familiar with what's her name, Tiffany the Budgetnista.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you want to know her budget, just call me. I'll tell you.
Her budget is an inexpensive condo. Okay, and her fees are like an inexpensive condo.
No, it is an inexpensive condo.
So I was like, whoo, okay. So anyway,
yeah, we already.
I know a lot of women are out there in that boat. They don't have the money or can't raise the amount of money to bring those types of people. So talk to them a little bit more about how can they select? How do they know who's going to bring it?
So, first of all, you want to study your people. Okay. Go to their line. Make sure they're relevant and they're interactive. A lot of people pick people because they were a dream person they wanted on their list. But if you go and look around, they're really not that relevant. They're not on stages. They're not speaking. Well, I'm going to use Les Brown. Les Brown speaks so much. I mean, that man's 76. When he said he speaks 6 times a day, and then he actually has some keynotes beyond that, he's not lying, because I've literally followed him and watched, right? Is he affordable? Not for your first time. I'm just going to say that. There are people, we actually had him on our stage, but good gracious, we were 6 years or so in. By then, we already had Lisa Nichols and Dr. Yana Van Zandt and others. And also be careful with going through these booking agents because y'all, the speakers do not get most of that budget. That's so you know, we learned that too the hard way. But relevant people follow them. You know, when they show in the room, other people show in the room. They don't mind sharing. We had Kim Coles last year, and I'm telling y'all, she did more than any of my speakers. Well, I think I had one more that was up there with her, but she just showed up. Hey, I need you here, there, and there. A lot of them, when they get to what I call sometimes diva status, they won't do the interviews. They won't do those promotional stuff. But I'm looking. Did you at least post me a few times on your thing, or were you on, was I on some of your other social media stuff? You know, did you share me out at all? And I'm not just talking about the keynotes, I'm talking about your guests and your features, those people that may not have paid. They at least got to give you some kind of airtime, not just the day of the event, right? But those are things to look at as well. Do they have a real tribe? Do they really have a real tribe that they're interacting with? That's another thing to look at. I looked at Kim's. She's got a full Facebook where she interacts and has her own show and stuff now. She has active people. Forbes Riley, she's very active. So she really interacts with her people. You just go, we know Lisa Nichols active, but it's just can you afford her, right? So anyway, the point is look at that. And let me tell y'all, if you don't ask, you won't receive. I love to say closed mouths don't get fed. To be honest, when Tabitha Brown came here, she was highly affordable. It's probably now, maybe not. I don't know. But she was really affordable and she was, people just love her. They just love her. And so people like that, Chrisette Michelle spoke at our conference last year. I was just dumbfounded. I was like, this young lady. It's just she's you can tell she's real private, but she shared so much. And you know, I pushed her people a little bit to get her to do some extra, and she stepped up and did it. So now Lisa initially her staff likes to manage her time, and so they'll tell you no. But then when she showed up, she over delivered, and I was like, "Thank you, Jesus." So you just never know, but you got to make the ask, and you got to make sure that your budget matches what they're asking for.
So if they don't have much of a budget,
Mm-hmm.
okay, even though some of the women are, you know, maybe they're making a lot of their money through podcasting, or maybe, you know, they're an author, best-selling author, you know, and they're able to pull, you know, they will have a budget. And then maybe some may not. So what are some of the things that, how do you, and maybe barter is not the right word, how do you make it worthwhile for an influencer to come on your platform?
Well, you definitely, you know, and I was talking to a booking agent today for one of my keynotes, and you know, I have to manage my budget. So when you throw me a number and I go, I'm gonna say that, you know, they're like, oh, wait a minute, we can talk, and so I'm like, good, because you know I like to talk. I will walk away if I have to. um, but negotiate some things. You know, don't always, you know, some people try to get it to zero. Of course, I'm gonna try to get it to zero, but if I can't, I can't. If I hear that they're normally getting paid, or whoever, I'm gonna at least, you know, I'm gonna have a bottom, and I gotta have a bottom that I may move up a little bit, but not. I'm not really planning to do that. Make sure that they understand the publicity they're going to do, that you're going to do. Like the one today was like, you know, since they're performers, they want to be interviewed and all that kind of stuff. Oh, see, that helps me. So you want me to book you on the radio, TV, and all that kind of stuff? Oh, we good, because that's something I love doing. So we're gonna promote you, because guess who's gonna get promoted with you? my conference. And right. So offer that, offer the extra visibility for them to their audience. If they're a keynote, then allow them the opportunity to sell, because really and truly, at the end of the day, that's where they make their money, is on the sale. Look, I can tell you, Lisa made at least 100 with success. So you have to offer those options so you can get to a price that you can work with. And so that's what you do. Now, again, some of the top keynotes, they're gonna have a bottom. Realistically, they're gonna have a bottom, and I always tell them, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just trying to make sure that we all leave happy. Because if you happy and I'm upset, that ain't gonna help none of us at the end of the day. So offer them the opportunity to sell. You can put a cap on some things if you want to, but normally I'm okay if I'm trading out and they're cutting their costs really deep. I'm gonna allow them to sell. I am. So, and it works out that way too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ladies, I hope you had a pen and a sheet of paper at least to write some of this down, because this is enough for you to get started. And there's of course a lot of other particulars in terms of maybe if you need a little bit of help zeroing in on your target audience. We didn't even get into any of the technical stuff, in terms of platforms to use and things of that nature. So, but at least she gave you some
nuggets
and tools and some nuggets and some gems. And if you want more, you can reach out to her and have a conversation and set something up and get going and make it happen. Or some of you may do your own event a couple times and then you decide, you know what, I think I need to go talk to Kearn. I need some more help. So hey, this is just a jump start to give you a place to start and some different things to think about. And like she said, get you a plan together. Don't just go in with kind of blinders, like, well, maybe this, maybe that. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm expecting. Have a plan.
Mm-hmm. Have a plan.
So definitely have a plan. But I have to say, again, I appreciate you coming on the platform and just sharing. I really want, my vision is I have seen so many virtual conferences. I mean, it's just like like in my feed, boom, boom, boom. It's like people are really doing it. I know you were doing this before it was even
Mm-hmm.
a thing. So you're the expert in this, which is why I'm so honored to have you here and to get that feedback from you. And Tabitha,
Oh yeah.
I love me some Tabitha, honey.
Yeah.
It's just
Tabitha.
the realness about her.
She is so real. And you listen to her backstory, you realize where she came from and the struggle to just stay relevant in the world of acting, because that's really, she's an actor.
Mm-hmm.
She's an actress.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all, the reason why virtual seems so overloaded is because most of us were operating in person, some of these same conferences. And now we have that plus people who are seeing the value of hosting conferences come alive as well. Virtual it can be a little more contained and allow you to operate it and not feel so overwhelmed as in person. I do, as I said before, Jacqueline, I do training on this. I'm one of the groups that I'll be starting. I'll be after Level Up, which Level Up is March the 25th and through the 27th. But the next group training will be at the end of April. So definitely go to my website at kearncherry.com, and we will be sending out that information soon, because it'll allow everybody to learn together and really kind of share and really kind of, you can get hone some of the things that you may have already done a conference, but you need, some help with being profitable. the conference becomes fun when you're profitable. It's not fun having a big party, right? It's not fun doing that. So,
Mhm.
that is a group that's where we're gonna discuss, we're gonna help each other, and I'm gonna really give y'all some tips that will help you out. For those of you that just say, I want somebody to hold my hand and walk me through, I can do that as well. Those are my individual clients. I will only take a few of those this year. As well, on the visibility side, we'll do a group coaching with that, and I'll take a few visibility individual clients as well. So, and I'm just going to say, if you're trying to connect with me, you can find me on most places, Kearn Cherry or Kearn Crockett Cherry. I love Clubhouse, love LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, all those places, even TikTok. You can find me there as well. So just love to connect.
You be TikToking too?
Girl, yeah. Now, see, I haven't done. So I talked to my stylist because I really want to do some TikTok video. And she said, it's a lot more work than you think, but we'll work on incorporating it. I tell you, you're gonna see some new stuff at Level Up, but it'll be fun. It's going to be fun. You'll hear all the details coming out about Level Up soon.
Okay, all right. I'm looking forward to that. I don't TikTok and I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know too much about those.
Oh, you definitely should
Platforms.
already be on Twitter. That's like live feed. Oh
No,
yeah.
I'm not tweeting. I need to tweet, huh?
It will at least share your
Okay,
info there. A lot of people
okay,
over in TikTok in Twitter,
okay,
especially our people, as far
okay.
as like business people, So you definitely want to share out over there as well.
All right. Okay, I have to look into that.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. And again, you have joined us for this particular segment is part of the Business Accelerator Bootcamp, and it's how to create a successful event. And who to talk to us about that other than the Butts in the Seats Queen. So she shared a lot of different gems and tips and tools you can put in your toolbox and be able to have a successful event or tweak your event. So thank you so much for joining. I am your host, Jacqueline Kabah Harrison. There are also, or shall I say, check out all of the other panels, as well as there's another exclusive interview and a special presentation. So make sure you check out all of the different presentations and so forth and level up, level up, come up,
I
um,
will.
grow, expand, rebrand, whatever. We're in 2022 now, and it's time to, as Kern would say, stop having small parties, right?
Stop having big parties
Stop having
and
big parties.
let's have a profitable event.
Right. Have a profitable event while expanding your brand and impacting others' lives, right?
Yeah.
Helping them transform. So thanks
Increase
again.
Yeah, increase your visibility, y'all. This is your year. Everybody's still tuned in to the World Wide Web. So make sure that you increase your visibility in 2022.
That's right. And if you don't know how, you still need a little help or some hand holding, contact Miss Kern Cherry here, and she'll definitely. Now, if you want to be a individual client, you're gonna have to hurry up and jump on that because she's only taking a limited number. So
Yes.
yeah, so definitely check her out, and let's make it happen. Let's go, ladies. So
Yes.
take care, everyone, and I will talk to you all again soon.